Well, good morning. It is Thursday, March the 28th. It's a warm morning. It's a cloudy morning, but it's a day that the Lord has made. Thank you, Lord. We're going to go straight into the King James Bible, the book of Exodus. This is chapter 38. And he made the altar of burnt offering of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. And it was 4 square, and 3 cubits the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof of the 4 corners of it. And the horns thereof were of the same, and he overlaid it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots, and the shovels, and the basins, and the flesh hooks, and the fire pans of all the vessels thereof he made of brass. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof, beneath under the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass, to be placed in the staves, for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar, to bear it withal. He made the altar hollow with boards. And he made the laver of brass, and the foot of it brass. Of the looking glasses of the women assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. It's amazing. He thought of making mirrors for the women. And he made the court on the south side southward. The hangings of the court were of fine twined linen, 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their brazen sockets 20. I'm sorry, I had to just tend to JJ there. And I lost my place. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side, the hangings were 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their sockets of brass 20. The hooks of their pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the east side eastward 50 cubits. The hangings on one side of the gate were 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, on this hand and that hand, were hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. All the hangings of the court round about were of fine twined linen, and the sockets for the pillar were of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver, and the overlaying of the chapiters of silver, and all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And 20 cubits was the length and the height. In the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of the chapiters and their fillets of silver. And all the pins of the tabernacle and the court round about were of brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted, according to the commandment of Moses, for the service of the Levites, by the hand of Ithamar, son to Aaron the priest, and Bezaleel, son of Uri, son of Hur, the tribe of Judah, made all that the Lord commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, and a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. And all the gold that was occupied for the work, in all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 29 talents, 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of them that numbered of the congregation was 100 talents, and 1,760 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. A beka for every man, that is half a shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for every one that went to be numbered, from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 3,550 men. And of the 100 talents of silver were cast the sockets of the sanctuary, and the sockets of the veil, 100 sockets of 100 talents, a talent for a socket. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their chapiters and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And there he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the brazen altar, and the brazen grate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the pin sockets of the court, and the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. Wow. I'm going to go back to where it says here about everything being made of brass around the altar and the brazen grate and everything. I remember back in England, all the implements around our fireplaces were always made of brass. And it just kind of makes me wonder, was brass the best metal, or was this rooted in some sort of biblical origin to have brass around the fireplace? But something that is rooted and is biblical is what's mentioned in the Our Daily Bread today. It talks about Maundy Thursday. And this is a reflection of what Christ had said, to love our neighbors. And it's a day that the royal family hands out gifts to the poor and the needy. And it's tradition rooted in the Bible. I wonder how many people even realize that it's Maundy Thursday in England and actually know the root of it, that it is biblical. It comes from Jesus. I think society has traveled a long way away from the Bible today, and I pray that we get back to it. But notice also the detail. I just love the detail. Can you imagine all this brass and gold and the fillets of silver? It's been engraved out, an engraving tool. He goes along and he cuts out the engraver, and he gouges out in the metal, and then he takes silver and he lays it in there, and then he heats it up, and the silver melts into the brass or the gold, and so you've got this beautiful design in silver, fillets of silver. The detail, the blue, the purple, the scarlet, the gold, the silver, the inlays of silver, the brass, beautiful fine-twined linens. What a beautiful sight this must be. God creates beautiful things. I'd like you today to take a moment in time, not only to look around you outside and appreciate the beauty of God's creation, but to look at other people. Look at someone that you've never looked at before. Just look at them. And look at them through God's eyes. And just think to yourself, God made you. Look how beautiful you really are. I mean, every person you see, just look at them and imagine you're looking through God's eyes. And everyone is a work of art, a work of creation, a work of beauty. And then understand that God commands us to love everybody with that beautiful agape love. Just take a moment to do that today. On today, Maundy Thursday. And think about someone that might be of need and see if you can help them. I'm supermarket based because of my job. So say your car pulls into the supermarket parking lot and you get out and somebody's there and they've just finished loading up their cart, unloading their cart into their car, and they've got an empty cart that they now have to wheel back to the corral or back into the store. Just walk over and say, I'll take that back for you. I guarantee you they will say thank you. And if you do it with a smile, I guarantee you you'll get a smile back. And if you just turn around and if they say thank you, say, you're welcome. God bless you today. Bang. Try it. Whatever different version, way, manner, give it a shot. Hold the door for somebody. Hold the door for somebody. Even for another guy. Doesn't matter. Just hold the door. Smile and say good morning. Smile and say good afternoon. They're going to say thanks. Say you're welcome. God bless you. You know? Have a go. Try to reflect the love that God has for you, because He does. He loves us more than we can imagine. And I love you too. Have a great day now. Speak to you tomorrow.